So yesterday I had talked about interfaces. Fine. I talked about how interfaces can be used in Selenium. WebDriver is an interface, and all the other classes, Firefox driver, IE driver, Chrome driver, Safari, Opera, Android driver, all these classes are implementing that interface, right? So all the classes will implement the functions present in that particular interface. Fine. Then we had come over to the HTML part. I was discussing that, and we had made this file html.xlsx. This one, right? There were tags, there were some mandatory attributes, and there were some optional attributes I was talking about. Fine. So these are the tags. Selenium, it will always work on the basis of these tags, the tag names. Fine. And if you if I want to identify an object in Selenium, right, it can be done in various ways. You can use ID, tag, class, CSS selector, anything, XPATHS, right? So how do we do that? Let's see. Let's take up a simple example, that is okay, hold on, let me first make a new project. Get the Selenium libraries in the project. Okay, so let us simply do a very simple example. That is, I need to go to the website gmail.com, or I need to go to the website. Say, yeah, just a minute. Right, and I need to enter the username, password, and click on sign in button. Right, very simple thing. Alright, so to do that, let's use Firebug on the username field. Okay, this is Firebug, this is the username field. Alright, if you go to right, out here in the source folder, right click, new class, that is Gmail, and we write the same old story out here, that is WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver, and driver dot get go to Gmail. Fine. Now I need to enter the username. Okay, this is the code, HTML code for username. Okay, it's got an ID. Alright, it's got a name, right? So you can identify on the basis of ID or name. Value attribute, it signifies what is written inside this input box. Suppose I am on the website quicker.com. Okay, if you observe carefully and look at this text box in which it is written enter your search term as, observe it with the help of Firebug. Then you will see that just a minute. The value attribute, it holds what is written inside the text field. You see the highlighted part, right? In case of a text field, the value attribute holds what is written inside the text box. Fine. So if you look at the text box for Gmail, the value is nothing because it is blank, right? Name is email and ID is email. So name and ID, these two properties, they look unique. Unique in the sense that no other text field on this page will have these values. If I look at the password box, then ID and name will be there in password, but the values are different. So you can identify this username field based on ID or name. If you go to your Java code, you simply have to write driver.findElement. Okay, driver.findElement function can find any element on the page, input box, link, checkbox, anything. All right, and in Selenium, everything is categorized into web element. Don't confuse it with the web element of QTP. If you know QTP, fine. If you don't know QTP, then it's okay, right? Everything is known as a web element in Selenium. This checkbox is a web element. This link is a web element. This text field is a web element. This text is also a web element. Everything is categorized under an interface web element. If you go to Selenium documentation, if you go to this Java doc, right, for Selenium, okay, and if you look at, if you scroll down, then you will see that there is an interface called web element. If you look at it, right, this is the interface, fine, and it's got various functions which are applicable to various web elements on a page, like clear, click, find element. Just ignore these two for a moment, right? Get attribute, I'll tell you what get attribute is. Get location, get tag name, get text, is displayed, is enabled, right? So these is selected, send key, submit. So these are the various functions which are applicable for web element. That is, if you have a link, you can click on the link, you can get the text of a link, right? Something like this. Okay, so everything has been categorized into this interface. So when you write driver.findElement, this returns you the object of the web element interface called, say, username equals to, you import web element driver.findElement, okay, by the ID. What was the ID? It was email. Dot send keys hello. Oh, sorry, just a minute. Sorry, I was already doing, yeah, simple. Okay, just keep it simple, right? Driver dot find element by ID. By is an internal class in Selenium API, which has got various options with which you can select an element, with which you can identify an element. If you go to Selenium documentation, then this is the by class. Okay, by class has got various functions like by class name, by CSS selector, okay, by ID, link text, name, partial link text, tag name, string, XPATHS. These are the various identification mechanisms you have in the by class. So when you are a driver.find element, how do you have to find element? In the argument you have to give by the ID this, and you will get the username web element. Okay, so after this, if you write username dot, you will get all the functions which are available in the web element interface which we just saw. We saw this interface, right? Web element interface. Okay, so once you have the object of or object reference of web element, you can simply call any of these functions. Okay, you can simply call any of these functions. So you can simply write username dot, to type into input field the function is send keys. Okay, if you look down, if you scroll down, then send keys function, use this method to simulate typing into an element which may set its value. Okay, so send keys, simply type hello. So this will write hello in the username field. So if you run this, you see that hello is written over here. Okay, so this is how you can write something into an input box, right? This is a very fundamental thing. That is, you first find the element on the basis of something. Now you can also, if I write by dot, I have so many options: ID, link text, name, partial link text, tag name, XPath, CSS selector, CS class name, right? I can also use the name attribute or the name function. If you look at this, then the name of this field is email, which is unique. So I can write email over here, extract it, and type something into the email as well. Again, hello, I can write into it. If you run this, okay. Now, what if two input boxes? There are two input boxes on the page with the same ID and same email. Okay, you see, it works, right? So now the question arises: what if there are two input boxes on the page with same ID or same email, same name? First of all, you should ask the developer not to do that. Secondly, even if he is doing it, then there are ways in which you can handle it. I will talk about that. I will talk about that in the coming lectures. Right? What if? Yes, it is case sensitive, Amit. The question being asked is whether the name ID which we provide over here, is it case sensitive? Yes. In Java, whatever you are giving in double quotes, it's not just about name. Wherever, over here as well, whatever you give in double quotes is case sensitive. If I keep the E capital of hello over here, then capital E will be typed over there. Okay. In Java, whatever you give in double quotes is always case sensitive. Even the stuff which you not give in double quotes is also case sensitive. In find element, if I make e small, I will get an error. Java is a case sensitive language. Okay, so you have to be very careful about the cases. Okay, find element and everything should be in the case, the desired case, right? Now similarly, I have to enter something into the password. So I can write web element password equals to driver dot find element by, let's investigate the password field. It's got an ID, it's got a name, right? So you can take the ID, suppose ID is password. And after that, password dot send keys, you can enter some password, right? So if you run this, you see that, right? Okay, now if in case I have to click on sign in, but okay, leave it just now for time being, leave it, right? Now to handle one element on a page, I have to write two lines. See that, to handle one element on the page, I am writing two lines. Instead of writing two lines, you can do the same thing in one line. You can simply write driver dot find element by the ID password. Now this will be my web element, right? You put a dot in front of it, you will get all the options for a web element, and simply write send keys some password. So this single line will find the element and type the password into it. The execution of this line starts from left side. Okay, first the find element works, it finds the elements by the password, and then it send keys. It uses send keys. Fine. So can I encrypt my password here? No, there is no internal feature to encrypt, but in Java there is something known as base64 encoding, and you can encrypt your password using base64 encoding. So you can identify on the basis of ID, name, or whatever you want, and in just one line you can handle the element, right? Now if you want to identify elements on the basis of another very important thing, that is known as an XPATHS. Okay, to work with XPATHS, first of all, yesterday I told you how to install Firebug, right? Now you can go to Google and you can simply write download FirePath. FirePath is again an add-on to Mozilla. You can download it. In Mozilla it gets installed as an add-on. Okay, you can simply add to Firefox. Click here, and you can add this FirePath to your Firefox, and you can start working with it. Right? When you add it, you get an option like this in your Firefox, FirePath. This tab will not be present normally, but after installation of FirePath, this tab will come up. Fine. Now, first of all, let us first investigate, or let us first learn what XPath is actually. Fine. Okay, the question being asked is which of these ID name efficient performance when we use it from different browsers? Well, Raghvendra, there is nothing like efficient or something. Okay, in the end, behind the scenes, everything is converted into XPath. Okay, everything is converted into X. If I use ID in the behind the scenes, everything is converted into an XPath, right? So everything is good, okay. But I prefer using XPaths. Now many people think that XPaths are not good to use, they can change or something like that. It's not like that. In some time I'll be explaining you about XPaths. You will get to know. Fine. Now, what is an XPath? Okay. Well, the simple thing being, the simplest way in which I explain people, every house has a house number, right? Every flat has a flat number. Every apartment has an apartment number, right? Similarly, every element on a page has a unique XPath in very simple terms, and that unique XPath can be used to identify the element. For example, let us look at my website. A very simple page on my website, and it doesn't have many web components. Right? This is the login screen. Okay, you have to enter your username, you have to enter your password, and you have to click on login button. Okay, a very simple screen. Now, if I talk about this, what do you say? This input box, right? How to find the XPath of this input box? To find the XPath, you can go to the page source. Okay, in page source, I'll maximize it a little bit. Yeah, this is the HTML tag. Okay, in this HTML tag, all the coding is done. All the coding is inside this HTML tag, and basically, if you look in Firebug, it will be more clear in Firebug. Let's investigate in Firebug. In the HTML tab, I am going to click on this username field. Okay, so this is the username field. Alright, and this is my HTML document. Everything is present inside the HTML document. HTML document is nothing, it's an XML. If you observe carefully, HTML document is nothing, it's basically an XML. Right? So, everything is inside the HTML tags. Fine? And body tag. Okay, the tag, it contains the title of the page and the various CSS imports and all everything. Okay, so most of the time you are interested in the head tag, sorry, body tag. Okay, and in body tag, this is my element, right? So if you want to know the XPath of this element, you can find it out like this. First, the tag name is HTML. Inside the tag name, body. Okay, there is body tag. Fine. Inside the body tag, this element is present inside this div. Right? So there is a div tag. Right? And after this div, there is a form tag in which the element is present, right? So there is a form tag, okay, and inside the form tag there is a table, alright, and then a t body, and so there is a table tag, there is a t body tag, table body, right? And inside the table body tag, if you observe carefully, there are many tr tags. More than one tag with the same name are present inside the t body tag. We are interested in the first one. Alright, we are first interested in the first tr tag. So the XPath will be tr1. We are interested in the first tr tag. There are number of tr tags in the table body. And in the first one, my input tag is out here, my element is out here. Okay, so this is the td tag, this is the td tag, and there are many td tags. There are 4 td tags inside this tr. We are interested in the third td tag. Okay, so we will write td3. And inside the td3 we have a field called input. So this is what I want. This is the input field. So this is like the address. This is like the address of an HTML component on the web page. Okay, so this is known as an XPath. The problem with this XPath is that if tomorrow something is added on this page in between, say some element is added in between, my XPath, I will have to change it throughout my code. Okay, so to resolve this, the thing is there are 2 types of XPath. One is the absolute XPath, one is the relative XPath. This is the absolute XPath. This absolute XPath means that this XPath starts from the base of the HTML document. That is the very root of the HTML document. This XPath is starting from there, that is from the HTML. So there are 2 types of XPaths. One are absolute, the other one is relative. Let us talk about this. Now using Firebug and the combination of Firepath, you can easily extract the XPath from the web page. There is no need to calculate it manually, right? You just select the Firepath tab and select Firebug and move your mouse over the element. You will get the XPath. You see that this is the XPath, right? For this image, every element on the page will have an XPath, and currently Firebug is showing me unique XPath because on my web page I have not assigned any ID or something. If we go back to Gmail page and open Firepath, out here, if I look at the email field, it will give me an XPath like this. This is the XPath and this is the relative XPath. That means // that means there is any element on the page, that is any tag on the page with the ID email. Instead of star, I can also put the tag name of the element, that is input. That is input. There is an input field on the page whose ID is email. This is more generic. Okay, because there can be a link as well, there can be a button as well with this ID, right? But I am writing there is an input field whose ID is email. This is the relative XPath. If you want to find the absolute XPath, that is from the base of the HTML document, you can select this drop down and click on this option, generate absolute XPath. If I select this and now I look at the username field, I will get this big XPath. This is the absolute XPath for the username field in Gmail. Now using XPath is not good if you are using absolute XPaths, because if the application changes, right, if something changes between the HTML tag and the tag in which you are interested, right, then your XPath will change and then you will have to open up the code and correct the code as well. So that's not correct. You should make the code, the script should be made in such a way that even if something changes in the application, no or very minimum changes should be applicable to your script. Okay, so this is the basic thing. Now about this relative XPaths and absolute XPaths. Alright, now how do I use them with Selenium? Okay, you can simply go to the same code, the Gmail code which I wrote, okay, and I will write over here username dot clear. That means clear out the fields, and password dot clear out will delete the values present in the text fields. Okay, and after that I will use XPATHS to enter the values again. I can write driver dot find element by the XPath of the username field. This is the XPath dot send keys, say hello. So this is the XPath for the username field which I have used to identify it, right? I prefer using XPaths. Okay, it's not a big deal. You run this code. You see that it wrote, then it deleted the values, and after that it again wrote inside it. I think it was very fast. What I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of delay over here. I will write thread dot sleep for 3 seconds, 3000 L. What this will do, this will halt my program for 3 seconds. Okay, so thread dot sleep halts your program. So when you run this code now, okay, just a minute, it's loading. See, it enters the username, password, then it deletes the values, and it again this hello is written on the basis of XPath. Right. So this is how XPaths are used, and this is how they are important. That's why, which I find them to be very good, easy, and very important as well. Okay, you can put any XPath over here. You can put an absolute XPath or a relative XPath, whatever you want. Instead of input, you can also try it with star. This will also work. Okay. One more thing: when you get the XPath from Firebug, okay, suppose I get the XPath for this button, that is sign in button, right? There's a dot in the beginning. Please don't copy this dot. This is not required. Error will come if you copy this dot. Only this much part is required. Okay. So be very careful. Please don't copy the dot. Alright. Now, right. So this is driver.find element. Fine. So this is how XPaths they work. Now, if you observe carefully, okay, let's hold this thing over here. We'll take this up in some time again, right? Let's go to the window with Selenium opened. This is the Firefox window with Selenium open. You will see that you don't have this doesn't look like your regular Firefox window. First of all, we had installed Firebug in our Firefox. In this Firefox window, we don't see the Firebug installed. Even if we observe carefully, then I have a set of bookmarks in the other window, the regular Firefox window. Those bookmarks are also not coming. Okay, this is because of a special thing known as the Firefox profiling. When Selenium it opens up Firefox in a special profile, right? So I'm going to talk about Firefox profile right now, right? The same code will also work in Chrome and IE. You just need to set the exe file for Chrome and give the absolute give Chrome driver over here. This code will work for Chrome as well. But in case of Firefox, okay, there is a profile which is created. Okay, so there are two aspects. Firstly, how do I what is Firefox profile? First of all. Secondly, how do I find the XPaths on Chrome and IE? These are the two things we are going to study now. How do we work with Chrome and IE, and what is a Firefox profile? Okay. First of all, in Chrome and IE, if the application remains same, okay, then the XPaths will remain the same. If your application is meant to behave differently for different browsers, then obviously the XPath in Chrome, IE, and Mozilla will be different. But in case the website opens in the same way for all the browsers, then there is nothing to worry. The XPath will remain same for all the browsers, right? For example, I'll just open Chrome. Hold on, yeah, and I go to the site quicker.com. Hold on. Right. In Chrome, there is no firebug or something like that. But in Chrome, if you right click anywhere on any element, you will get the option to inspect the element. You can inspect the element from here. You will not get any firebug or something like that in Chrome. Alright. And in IE, there is no way. You just have to go to the page source and investigate. So the best way is that most of the applications, they behave same in all the browsers. It's not that the look and feel of the website will be different in different browser, right? So the XPaths, they will remain same, the IDs, they will remain same, the name will remain same. So you can identify the objects in Firefox, make the code in Firefox, and later on make the code run in different browsers by just changing the driver type here. Okay, so this is how you can make it work in Chrome or IE as well. Let us try to run this code on Chrome. Okay, hope so. Gmail opens the same way it opens in Chrome and the way it opens in Mozilla, right? So for Chrome, I had talked about it. You had to set the system path. Yeah, for Chrome, you need to set this system path for your Chrome exe, right? And instead of Firefox driver, I have to write Chrome driver. Okay, so you import this. We had studied about this exe, right, for making code work in Chrome. So when you run this, it goes to Gmail, it enters the username password, and it clears it, and then again it enters the username based on XPath. So this seems to work fine. This seems to work fine on Chrome as well. So this is how you can make the code run in Chrome as well if your website is opening in the same way. Otherwise, if the website opens differently in different browsers, there are different ways to find XPaths in different browsers. The most of it being IE. You just have to simply go in the page source and look at it. Or you can also use the IE developer tool. You just search in Google what is IE developer tool, you can use it. Fine. Now, talking about an important thing known as the Firefox profile. Okay. Well, in layman terms, you can say that whenever, suppose you and your colleague, both of you are using the same machine. I'm just taking an example. Fine. You want that when you open your machine, you should be, and you open your Mozilla, okay, you should be opening the Mozilla in your own profile. That means you should see your own set of bookmarks right? You should have your own set of add-ons installed inside Mozilla, right? You should have Mozilla Firebug, FirePath, whatever you want, okay? But your colleague, when he logs into the same machine, same operating system, and when he wants that when he opens up Mozilla, he should be able to see his set of bookmarks, his set of settings, and all everything. Okay, so by this we mean that two different instances of Firefox should be present on the machine. So this is possible in Firefox by the concept of Firefox profiling. Okay, to study about Firefox profiling, first of all you have to close Firefox from here, file exit menu. Okay, please don't forget this. Many people they do this mistake. To create a Firefox profile, why am I talking about Firefox profile out here is because to test HTTPS websites, to handle certificate errors and all, you need Firefox profile, HTTPS secure websites. Fine. So you have to exit Firefox from here, that is file exit, and Firefox will close. Do not close it from the top right corner. Okay. After that, you go to your run menu and give the command. This is the command firefox.exe -p profile manager. Okay, if you give this command and click on OK, you will get this window. Okay. Alright, some question is being asked. I'm not getting the command option import interface options. The thing is, have you given the spelling of Firefox driver correctly? When you write Firefox driver in Selenium, many people they do this mistake. You have to just a minute. He's saying that he is not getting the option to import Firefox driver. Okay, hold on. Selenium example. Yeah. When you write Firefox driver, you have to be very case sensitive. Java is a case sensitive language. F is capital and D is capital. Rest everything is in small. Okay. This is one of the possibilities. The other possibility is that you have not included all the jar files. While including Selenium, you have to include these two jar files as well as the jar file in the library folder. Okay, so these are the two possibilities, two possible errors which you have done. Okay, so just look into that. Okay, now coming over to Firefox driver. Sorry, for Firefox profiling. If you give this command, you will get a window like this. Okay, and in this window there are various profiles. This is the default profile which is available when your Firefox is installed. This is the one which I created. Okay, I'll create one more profile called as say June weekday. Okay, I create this particular profile. It will be available over here. June_weekday. When I click on Start Firefox, the Firefox window will open, but it will be a fresh Firefox window. It will not have Firebug in it. It will be absolutely fresh with no bookmarks, no history, no cache, no cookies, nothing. Okay, so this is a different instance of Firefox. Now I as a user, I can use this instance, and when I have to close Firefox, I can close it from file exit menu. When my colleague comes, he can use the default profile or any other profile which he wants. Okay, now similarly, when Selenium starts Firefox window, internally some coding has been done inside Selenium API. Through that, it creates its own Firefox profile. That is, it creates its own new profile every time when it runs the Firefox, and that's why we don't. I just run it again. Just a minute. I'll just run gmail.java again. I will not use Chrome over here. I will use Firefox driver. Okay. So when Selenium opens up Firefox, it also creates a new Firefox profile, and it opens that profile every time. So instead of creating a new Firefox profile every time, you can also instruct Selenium to open the profile which you want it to open. Okay. For example, I created a Firefox profile called June_weekday. Right. I can ask Selenium to open that particular profile, so that the window in which the testing occurs, I can have Firebug installed, FirePath installed, everything installed inside it. You can have your own set of settings. Moreover, sometimes you have to test some proxy websites. You have to do some proxy settings while working with the normal browser. So you can do the proxy settings, by creating your own profile. You can create your own profile. You can go to Tools Options menu. Over here, you can do the proxy settings and all whatever you have to do, and ask Selenium to open this particular profile, because this profile has a certain set of proxy settings. Okay, so Firefox profile means different instances of Firefox browser running in the same machine. Okay, you can easily do that. You can easily achieve that using Firefox profile. Okay. Now question arises: is this thing also available in Chrome and IE? No. Chrome and IE have not got any profiling concept. Profiling concept is only there in Firefox. Okay. The question being asked is, after the profile is set, how do we select it through the code? I am going to tell you that. Okay, I am going to tell you that there is a Firefox profile class. Okay, there is a Firefox profile class through which you can do it. Only thing is, you just have to write this line, that is profiles INI is a class. You create the object called profile equals to new profiles INI. Okay, so you import it, right? And this profiles INI object, when you create this object, okay, this object will represent all the Firefox profiles present in your machine. If you have got 10 Firefox profiles present in your machine, okay, you will have all the 10 represented by this object. So if you write profile dot get profile and you give the profile name, that is June_weekday. This is the one which I just created, right? And you take it, this will return you the object of the class known as profile manager called my profile, like this. Sorry, not profile manager, Firefox profile. Sorry, Firefox profile. You import this, right? So profile, or from this profile, or rather this object name should be all profiles. From all profile object, get the profile June weekday, take it in the object of, take it in the object of the class my Firefox profile called my profile, and now what do you have to do? You have to bind, or you have to tell WebDriver that this is my profile which you have to open. Okay, to tell that you need to understand the concept of constructors in Java. Okay, you need to understand the concept of constructors, right? I will not talk about constructors as of now. I'll talk about the concept of constructors is the concept in Java language, right? I don't want to cover that as of now. Alright, so just leave it for time being, constructors, right? I'll talk about constructors tomorrow, and then I'll talk about how to tell Selenium that open this particular Firefox profile. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any questions from today's class? Please feel free to ask me. Yeah, question is, say I am running the tests on a remote machine and I want to use local machines Firefox. No. The remote machine should be having the Firefox profile. Local machine, because the browser is going to launch on the remote machine, right? You cannot use your local machine's Firefox profile. You will have to create the Firefox profile in the remote machine. Okay? I think we're talking about grayed out here, right? So, fine. Yeah. Right. Any other questions? Okay, you can also unmute yourself and ask questions. Fine then.